Welcome to the Business and Bubbly podcast. This is the place for women in business who are on the journey of building their big ideas and want to have fun along the way. It's for those of us who also know we aren't meant to do business or life alone. Hi, I'm Charity Majors, your host and the founder of Business and Bubbly. Think of this kind of like the can I pick your brain chats that you've always wanted to have with those who are doing epic things, plus business besties, hype girls, and getting into massive action towards your next big idea all in the same place. Oh, and bubbles, because if you're not having fun along the way, you're not doing it right. Together, we'll unlock what it means to be seen, known, heard, and championed all along the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and being a woman in business building big dreams. Each week, I'll bring you a quick sip business tip, as well as interviews from top experts that make you feel like you're getting bottle service for your business. We're having the raw and real conversations and chatting about all the things, the messy middle, the pivots, scaling, the good days and the bad days, because here we do real. It's where we can work hard, play hard, cry it out, and dance it out all at the same time without being judged. This is a place where we are in the arena together and we are each other's biggest fans because most of us have enough comments from the cheap seats. It's where our too much is par for the course and where the gaps of our not enough are filled in by the other epic women that are around us. It's where we can be unapologetic about the mission we are on, about the big dreams on our heart, and the business we are building without having to be perfect or have it all together, or even pretend to. It's a supportive community where business is being done amongst like-minded women, because when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. It's a place where you have the support around you to get out of your comfort zone and go after your big ideas, because even when you fail forward or when you reach the top, you know it won't be alone. Also, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm obsessed with creating platforms that lift up other women to be seen and heard and known. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite you to list your business on our directory called Find Women in Business. All you've got to do is text the word directory to 833-231-8098, and I'll text you the link back to get your free listing. This is also a great way to connect with other women in business from around the world, so definitely check it out. And now let's get to the good stuff. Grab a glass of your favorite beverage, Prosecco, bubbly water, or whatever your flavor is, and let's dive in. Are you with me? Here we go. Hey, Biz Bestie. Hope you're doing great today. I'm your host, Charity Majors, and I'm excited to welcome you here to today's episode. If you are here with me on Instagram, make sure you say hi. If you're listening on the podcast, on the Business and Bubbly podcast, give me a little virtual high five. And today's episode, I'll be your host, and we are chatting about what community means to us. And this word community is actually an acronym, which I'm going to share what it is and what it is all about. So if you think about the word community, this is COMMUNITY, and each letter stands for something. And this is actually, I'm going to share these concepts with you as kind of the cornerstone of what Business and Bubbly is really about. And part of this is to really share the intention behind it, the foundation, the cornerstone behind it, so that you can know whether or not you are in alignment with what we stand for. And if you are, then girl, you are our people, and we would love to invite you to have a seat at the table. Now, what's really important to understand about a cornerstone is that you think about like back in the day when buildings were made out of stone, this cornerstone was actually one of the most important pieces in an entire building that was constructed. And it's because if the cornerstone was off, if the carving of the cornerstone wasn't straight, if it wasn't set up straight, this cornerstone was placed first
And what then happened was every single stone was then laid on from the foundation that this cornerstone set. So if the cornerstone was, like I said, if it wasn't straight, if it was set wonky, then the rest of the building would not be set up correctly. It wouldn't be, at a 90-degree angle, or it wouldn't measure up. The walls would be weird. So the cornerstone piece was actually really, really important. And so I want to share with you this cornerstone piece of community, this acronym of community that is really, really important when it comes to not only what we stand for, but the women that come into our communities stand for as well, because like attracts like. And if you stand for these things, if these things resonate with you, if your heart is like, yes, oh my gosh, I love this, I'm like this too, then you're our people, and we would love to again invite you to have a seat at the table here with us at Business and Bubbly. So this first one is C, which is cultivating community over growing an audience. Now, when it comes to community versus audience, there's a big difference here. And it's because the audience is more about connection with the guru at the top of at the top of the ladder, the expert. I'm more interested in creating followers and, people that just do what I say and buy my programs. And that I'm I'm the expert and the guru at the front of the room, compared to cultivating community. And with Business and Bubbly, our intention is to really cultivate community. And that's what actually happens, and what matters more is that the connections that happen in the room. So if you're coming to, whether it's our in-person chapter events, or if you're joining us for our virtual event, our virtual connect and co-work sessions, then you're going to know that there's an intentional connection piece every single time. It's because connection reigns supreme. Cultivating community reigns supreme for us over growing an audience. So that's number one. No, the next letter in community is O, and this is quote, I'm doing air quotes, is organic. Now, if you can think of kind of like an organic garden, right? This is kind of this set aside plot of land where we are intentionally planting certain things, right? They're quality ingredients. So what we're intentionally planting, not only are quality women, quality events, quality programming, quality branding, right? It's this quality ingredients, but the things that we're really planting and cultivating, we're pouring water on, right? We're fertilizing, we are, we're adding sunshine to, we're adding nutrients to, are the things that women are made to, where that we create and cultivate spaces where women are known, where they're seen, where they belong, where what they bring to the table matters, where there's a seat at the table for them, that they can pull up a chair, and that what they bring to the table matters. That when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. That we believe that women, that we are meant to lead from the front of the room, that we can do powerful things in business, that we're not meant to do business or life alone. And so these are kind of these things that we're intentionally planting in this garden of events and of communities that we're cultivating. And like a garden, there can be weeds that pop up. Like a garden, it's going to be messy. We're getting our hands in there and we're doing the work type of a thing. And sometimes things take time to grow. And so this organic concept is that there's going to be organic growth that happens, that we're going to be pulling the weeds out. Like if someone's gossiping, it's not that this is, not that there's not ever going to be gossip, right? We're not perfect. We're not claiming to be perfect, but we are going to pull that weed and we are going to nip it in the butt. And so we're planting and intentionally cultivating quality ingredients and quality things that we are inserting not only into Business and Bubbly, but into the women that we pour into the women that we serve, into our communities, into our members. And it's quality ingredients. We want to see you grow. We want to see you thrive. And so we are pouring into you. We are, investing in you. we are really creating the spaces where you can grow and where it's safe for you to grow, like a garden, where we're gonna like a greenhouse, like it's, it's kind of this protected space. Like we're going to protect you and your business. We want to really foster this space for you to be able to grow and to grow safely, so that you can be, valuable to the market, so that your growth isn't inhibited, so that like a garden, it's this amazing space of growth that doesn't necessarily happen out in the wild, right? Out in the wild, there's all these different elements and things just grow however, and there's weeds, and sometimes there's not enough water, or there's too much shade, or there's whatever, right? Sometimes things grow, sometimes they don't. So this is actually an intentional growth environment. And like I said, what it also means is that it can be messy like a garden. So there's space for you to grow and there's space for the mess. And we get to all be on the organic journey together. Okay. Now this next one. So the here's the M is member ascension and retention. So a community obviously needs members. So we want to make sure that we're really honing in on serving women like you. And when it comes to ascension, to a member ascension, we want to make sure that no matter where you're at in your life or your business or your personal growth journey, that there's a space for you. So there, we've got, yes, like places for you to be able to ascend to and to grow into. But maybe you're a 6 or 7 figure income earner and you're joining the masterminds and you're helping to lead the room. Maybe you're, you know that you're meant to speak and you want to be a chapter director. And that is amazing. And we have a space for you. And we have a community that you can serve. We have platforms for you to be able to grow your expertise and to be seen and heard and known. Maybe you're new in business, and that's okay too. We have a space for you. We have a space for you to connect and to grow your network and to be able to gain referrals and to learn about business and to learn about branding and to really surround yourself with community. And we've got the space for you to be able to grow into for you as a woman, whether it's in your personal growth journey or your business journey. And so we've got this ascension for you, this space for you to grow, as well as retention. Like we really want to intentionally invest in our women so that they stick. We really want to intentionally invest in communities so that they stay, right? Because I know for me, I want to invest in, when I show up fully and I show up authentically and vulnerably, when I show up and I want to serve, like I want those women to be able to stay there and to be able to really cultivate and grow together. And so that doesn't happen when people are just in and out like a revolving door. Like that happens with community, and that happens when we're invested into each other, and that happens with retention. And then the next one is member appreciation. So this one is, if you are a member of Business and Bubbly, or if you are a part of our squad, you know how much we appreciate you, how much we love you. It's in the little things that we do for you as a community. It's in the little details. If you come, like I know this month or our next coming up in next month is February. It's Valentine's, it's Galentine's. All right, we've got something special for you in all of our Sip and Socials that our chapter directors put together. Right, I know in the May is Mother's Day, and we do some special things for moms. And so it's in the little things that we do that we really truly honor and appreciate our members. And we do the little things like this to know that you are appreciated, so that you can know that you belong, so that you know that when you come into Business and Bubbly, so that when you know that you come into our community, that what you do, that who you are is appreciated. And it's not just like, yes, what you do is amazing, but it's who you are and how you be. It's how you show up. It's how you come and serve. Like we appreciate you so much because it's about the community and it's about you and it's about women like you. So we want to make sure that you know that you are appreciated when you come into our spaces. The next one, if in community, is you. And this one is unity. Now, this is actually a word that some people have really gotten confused with over the last little while in this hot political climate that we've all been in. And a lot of times with unity, people think that you got to believe the same thing I believe, you got to think the same thing that I think. We've got to dress the same way, we've got to do everything the exact same way. But that's not unity, actually. That's uniformity. And we're not going after uniformity. We're actually going after unity. And unity means that It's a place where we can unite around something despite our differences, right? It means that we can unite around the fact that we believe that women, that we're not meant to do business or life alone. We can unite around that belief despite our political differences, or despite our religious differences, or despite our backgrounds, or despite our socioeconomics, or whatever hair color or skin color or backgrounds that you might have. We can unite around that fact, right? And so there's space when we come together actually in unity that it's because we can rally around a belief like that despite our differences. And there's room for our differences, right? There's room for our differences as well as being the same. There's room for the two social media managers to be able to come into the room together as quote unquote competition, but they can still honor and respect each other as women, and they can still honor and respect each other even though they're in the same industry, and they can still honor and respect each other despite their differences, or despite if they have the same customers or they're competing for the same customers or whatever it might be, right? And same thing, if you have a different belief or a different background or whatever that might mean with somebody, we can still come into a room. Our differences are allowed, and we can still come together with the core belief and the core respect that you are a woman, and I honor and I respect you even though there are differences about us, and that's okay, right? Because there's room for our differences. That's what makes it all beautiful. So we have unity. The next one is nurture and navigate. So for us as leaders, as chapter directors, you can know that, when you as a community member, when you come into our spaces, that you are going to be nurtured and loved, and that you are going to be, that you can come authentically as yourself. And there's nothing that you can do that will make us not love you and not support you. I know this example actually kind of comes from like me. I'm a mom, I've got a 6-year-old and I've got a baby, and, and I'm sure you've heard this before too, but sometimes kids, it's this joke that, they go to everyone else's house and they're perfect angels, and they come home and they they are kind of a hot mess, or they mouth off, or they make a mess and they don't clean up their toys. And there's actually, that actually takes a really secure child to be able to do that. And what that actually means is that the child knows that no matter what they do, that when they come home, right, like maybe they'd had to be on their best behavior at school or at a friend's house, but when they come home, they know that they can be a hot mess, and they can make a mess, and they can, they cannot have it all together, and they're still going to be they're still their safe place to land. They are known, they are loved. Like, there's nothing that my son could do that would make me not love him. And so as mama hens of of the Roost, our chapter directors, myself as the founder, and even other members, we're here to nurture. We're here to let you know that no matter what you do, that you are loved, that you can come as your authentic self, and that's a big piece of what we create and facilitate in our rooms and with our chapter directors and how they lead. And then when it comes to our leaders as well, is navigation. And this can be for our members and our leaders, right? This isn't just about getting people on the bus and going to a destination. This is about getting people in the right seat on the bus. So good leaders, like our chapter directors, they know that, this girl in my chapter, she is everyone's hype girl. Everyone loves her. All right. They're open, they can see the potential and the gifts inside of every single woman, and they're calling those out. Right. So this is where they're saying oh man, she is everyone's cheerleader. Everyone loves her. I bet she would be an amazing person on the welcoming committee. And so now we're giving her a platform and a space for her to be able to use her gifts and to navigate, right? It's not just about, again, getting people on the seat on the bus. We don't want you just to come in the room and to be a part of Business and Bubbly. We see your gifts, we see what you're good at, and we want to provide a space for you to flourish in that area. And so again, this is where maybe the girl that is just the bull, she's inviting everyone, and she's just well, come on, come do this. She's magnetic, right? Maybe she might be what's called a chapter ambassador, right? To where she's able She's the girl that's inviting everyone into Business and Bubbly and into the space. And we want to see that, and we recognize that in certain women. Maybe you are absolutely called to meant to lead from the front of the room. So what does that look like for you to grow into a chapter director? What does that look like for you to start to lead your own community? Right. So we see the gifts that are inside of you, and we want to put you in the right seat on the bus so that you're able to maybe even drive the bus one day. But also when it comes to navigating, we also want to make sure that we are able to navigate through rough waters, right? We as members of the community, as women, right, we know that it's messy. Like we talked about things being organic, and sometimes that means it's going to be messy. So sometimes there might be conflict. Sometimes there might be a she said. Sometimes there might be uncomfortable, whatever, growth in business. And we understand that we can navigate rough waters, but we're not meant to do it alone. We're going to navigate rough waters, and we're going to make decisions in community with wisdom, with love, and with connection. And so that we can stay on track and go to where it is that we're going when it comes to Business and Bubbly and what we stand for. And what our big intention is again, we're not meant to do life and business alone. So imagine what it could look like if all of a sudden, that there's like-minded women in Florida and in Canada and in Idaho and in California and in Australia, and no matter where it is that you go, no matter where it is that you're traveling to, you either know someone that you can connect with, you know someone that you can do business with, you know that you can go grab coffee with someone no matter what city you're in. Imagine a community and an economy like that. That's the entire intention and vision of Business and Bubbly. And we hope that you are aligned with that, to really know that, wow, man, what would it look like to really have connections all over, because we have united under this community umbrella of like-minded women. The next one is the it factor. Now this kind of goes into what we talked about with not only getting people on the bus, but getting people in the right seats. Like our leaders, we recognize that every single one of you has your own special it factor. It's your own special, unique selling proposition. It's your own way that you stand out in a special way. And we want to grow that. We want to foster that. We see that. We want to call that out in you. And we want to give you that platform and that space for you to be able to do that. All right. So it's the it factor, and it's the it girl. Like we know that every single one of our girls in the room she is the it girl. She is it. And it's this, not only who she is today, but who she's growing into, not just as her best self. Like we've actually have let go of the best self thing. We're actually stepping into, and we own our favorite self. So that means that if you get to show up as your favorite self, just coming from yoga and in sweatpants and a messy bun, like, girl, we love you. If you're coming in your favorite stilettos and your favorite pantsuit, with the best necklace ever, like, girl, we love you. Like, you get to, like, you are invited and you have a seat at the table in all of the ways that you get to show up as your favorite self. And that's because, again, it's not necessarily your best self. Like for me, my best self, when I thought about this years ago, it's like it always seemed so unattainable. And it always seemed like, I was never going to arrive at my best self. It's like, man, like there are days where I don't shower and I'm not my best self. But I'm my favorite self right now because, I got to sleep in and I got to like do my workout and I'm like having a smoothie, and I might not be my best self in whatever, but I am my favorite self right now. Or I get to show up in my tutu and my favorite skirt, my favorite heels and my, this is the part of me that is my favorite self, or the part of me where I love to talk about business, the part of me where I love to speak and lead from the front of the room. I get to show up as my favorite self in those areas. And so that's that it girl. That's that aspirational identity. That's who I'm going to grow into and aspire to become, while I also love right where I'm at. The next one is T, and this is together. So there's a little play on words. And so if you think about, obviously, the word together, right? All one word, together. We're not meant to do business in life alone. We are better together. And then if you look at gather, Gather, this is where we gather together. This is like the gathering place. This is where we come together for collaboration, for connection. This is where we come together to make the community to not only in community, but to make the connections happen. And so that gather aspect of together is really important. And then the last three words of together is her, HER. So this is where women, we are gathering together. So that's one of our core beliefs, that it's not just about gathering together online, because yes, like Zoom and Instagram and Facebook, like like connection on the screen is good, but there's still nothing that replaces the magic of what happens when we meet in the room, heart to heart, soul to soul, belly to belly, business to business. And so that's where this women gathering together, that's a big foundational piece. So that's why we have our in-person chapters. And then the last one is why, right? So we've got community ends with why, but it's this concept from Simon Sinek where we actually start with why. And this is not only a big foundation of why Business and Bubbly was created, but I believe that when women come together, that there's magic that happens in the room. We can come together in connection and collaboration, like letting go of the insecurities that we have, that someone else is going to be, in my same industry, or they're farther ahead than me, or her whatever is cuter than mine. Like, no, we get to come together, because when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. And I believe that we're not meant to do business in life alone, and that when you win, I win, that we are the rising tide raises all ships, right? So these are these why foundational pieces of why Business and Bubbly was started. And the vehicle is the what, right? This is how we do it. This is the what we do. But if you have ever read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, if you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. And it's because we start with why we gather together, why we're doing what it is that we're doing. But this is also an encouragement for you, that for our members, if you're listening to this under the sound of my voice, that on those hard days, on those days where you are going to have those wall kicking moments, on the days where you want to quit, if you can remember your why you started in the first place, why you stand what it is that you stand for, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're creating what you're creating, why you're working with who you're working with, that why is so, so important. Okay, so if you can start with why, or on the days where you want to quit, you go back to your why, that's going to be huge. And it's also this understanding that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you're doing it. And so when we talk about our businesses in the room, we talk about why we're doing it. We're talking about why we love what we're doing. We're talking about the purpose behind it. And what that really does is it actually connects us heart to heart, soul to soul, business to business, over just what it is that we're doing, over just, oh yeah, like I do this, like, oh, we just do networking events for women. It's like, no, like we believe that we aren't meant to do business or life alone. We believe that what women bring to the table when it comes to life and business, that what they bring matters. We believe that women are powerful. We believe that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. We are rallying around these bigger concepts and these bigger beliefs. Despite our differences, and we are like on the journey together to be able to create connections globally, locally and globally. So those are just kind of that's the community outline for you. The cornerstone of the different things that we stand for. And if those resonate with you, then I would love to connect with you. Feel free to come shoot me a message on Instagram, or come hang out with us at businessandbubbly.com. You'll be able to find either a local chapter for you, or come hang out with us in our Connect and Co-work sessions for our virtual sessions. We would love, love, love to be if these things resonate with you, then girl, you are our people, and we would love to provide a space for you to be seen, to be heard, to be known, and to belong. Because when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. And we are meant for community. We are meant to do this thing together. We are not meant to do business or life alone. And these are some of the different things that we stand for. So I hope that resonates with you. If your heart is like, yes, if you were giving me a big virtual high five, then you have found your people and you have a seat at the table. All you've got to do is have a seat, girl. Because what you bring to the table matters, and we see you. We appreciate you. You belong here. There is space for you to grow. There is space for the messy middle. There is space for your too much, as well as there's our women around you to fill in the gaps. of the places where you feel like you don't have what it takes or that you're not enough. You are loved here with Business and Bubbly, and Bubbly just it's not just a drink that we sip, it's a concept, right? Like Bubbly, like we rise, like Bubbly, like it's better to be done together than alone. We leave, it's not just a drink, it's a way of being, right? Like our personalities, our attitudes, like we are fun, we are sweet, we are sassy, we are impactful, we leave people better than when we found them. We rise together. Like it's a concept and it's a way of being. And this is really what we stand for. So if that resonates with you, like I said, you are invited. We've got the table set. There's a seat for you, and what you bring matters, whether it is the potato chips or the rolls or the gourmet meal to the potluck. What you bring to the table matters, and we see you. You are valued, and we can't wait to welcome you into the Business and Bubbly community. Have an amazing day, you guys.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope it brought some value and some fun into your business and life. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and even share the episode with a fellow business bestie who you know will love it. It helps us continue to attract top-level guests and reach more and more women who are on their journey in business just like you. Remember that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. Cheers to your success.